everyone. I really wasn't sure where to start this morning, but I guess first and foremost I wanted to respond to the messages that I've been getting out of concern and let you all know that I am safe and alive and well, and how much I do very much appreciate your concern, knowing that I live in Florida. And I hope this morning has found all of you safe and alive as well, even though part of me knows that for some of you that probably wasn't the case. And I'm still trying to process all of this, but last night there was a shooting at Pulse, an LGBT nightclub in Orlando, Florida, which so far has left 50 dead and another 53 more wounded, making this the largest mass shooting and the largest anti-LGBT hate crime in United States history. So, living in the nation at the time that we do as LGBT people is often very frightening. I, especially as a transgender woman of color, am often really terrified knowing the odds that we specifically already face. But I guess the world has already just always been a frightening place for us. Many of us have been fighting this battle since Stonewall, and it still wasn't so long ago that in many countries you could be executed, imprisoned, or even lobotomized for your gender identity or your orientation, and in some places that's still true. And when something like this happens, especially those who live through those time and events, I'm sure it can be very triggering and bring just everything rushing back. And for those of us who are very young, I'm sure the world has probably never felt quite as frightening as it does waking up this morning. And I feel so alone and small and frightened. And I just want to break down and cry, and I know many of you have reached out to me already feeling the same way, and I just want you to know that what you're feeling is valid, and it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to let those feelings out, and it's okay to cry. I've gotten a lot of messages, a lot over the course of my activism work, telling me how brave people think I am. But moments like this, especially, it's really hard to feel brave. It's just so much easier to just want to collapse in on yourself and disappear, but now it's more important than ever for all of us to be brave and stand together in love and support for the lives that we've lost, and for all of us who are left behind to deal with that loss and that fear. And I want you to know that you can still do that even when you're afraid. Because being brave doesn't mean not being afraid. Often the brave is really just doing everything you can to put on a bold face and push forward and just keep going and doing what's right and living your truth even when you're terrified as hell. I know that's what it meant for me and what it continues to mean for me every day. What happened last night was heartbreaking and terrifying. And so I want you to know that it's okay to feel heartbroken, and it's okay to feel afraid. A month or two ago, I saw an article that posed the question as to whether many of us would know it if we were living through another civil rights movement, and I feel like it can no longer be denied that these are revolutionary times. And unfortunately, revolutionary times are often very violent, and we lost so many beautiful souls last night in Orlando, and I'm sure we will lose more here and all over the world before it's said and done. And as frightening as it is, and as much as we don't want to think about it, when we're faced with this kind of tragedy, we're really forced to come to terms with the fact that one day it could be us. And that's not an easy thing to do. Most days I try to shrug it off like it's nothing, but most of the time I'm terrified inside. And I cry about it a lot, and I have nightmares. And I guess I just want you to know that sometimes it's okay to just take time to process everything and feel. And I want you to remember that our safety is never a currency to be exchanged for progress, and I want you to know that it's okay to do what you have to do in order to stay safe and mentally healthy. And I guess I've said this a few times now, but I really want to be absolutely sure that you get it in no uncertain terms that it is absolutely okay to feel all of the things you're feeling right now. It's very difficult to process, and I only wish I could be there to offer you a shoulder to cry on. God Goddess knows I need one too, and unfortunately, Kelly did have to work today, so I'm home alone right now. But a lot of you have reached out, and I know a lot of you will be reaching out, and I just want you to know that seeing your concern and your words comforts me in knowing that I'm not really alone, and neither are you. I'm here, and so are all of the rest of us in the world, and united together, we will get through this and every other adversity which is yet to come. And I don't know why they hate us so much. I only wish I did. It would make things so much easier, but regardless, I want everyone to remember that this was not an act carried out on the basis of a religion. It was an act born out of homophobia. And I want to take a moment to extend my personal sympathies to our friends and families in the Muslim communities who we all know will face renewed hatred and suspicion and violence and be falsely painted as villains in light of this attack, especially to our LGBT Muslim siblings who will continue to face hatred and violence for their orientation or gender on top of that. And I want everyone to remember that this was not an attack rooted in anyone's Islamic faith, but in a hatred for people who are different, and we will overcome it by standing together in love and peace, because love always wins. Lastly, before I let you go, I want to make sure to let you know that there is currently a critical need for O negative, O positive, and AB blood types to help care for the survivors of this attack, and although there have been some reports circulating that some organizations such as One Blood have temporarily lifted homophobic and transphobic donation guidelines for this incident, the organizations themselves have confirmed that this is not the case. So please be aware and help spread the word to others so that no one is unnecessarily turned away. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, please be safe and be yourself.